Okay, good evening and welcome to the special multi-edition shir of Mesechus Kesubos just off it. We're doing Kesubos Kuf Ches, number 108. This will be the last multi Shabbos shir of Mesechus Kesubos for another 7 years. A little more than 7 years. It's pretty hard. 7 years going to be out without me for multi Shabbos. How you going to manage? How are you going to invigorate yourself in another week? I don't know. But you'll have Mesechus Nedarim. Okay, so let's get into it. Kuf Ches Amud Beis records a machlokas between Amoraim, between Shmuel and Rabbi Bar Abba, about a case. I say, I lent you wheat and barley. The guy says, yeah, barley you did lend me. I'm paying you back the barley. Wheat you never lent me. All right? Is that called moda b'mixas? Moda b'mixas at taina. The classical case, someone says, I lent you $1,000. The guy says, I only owe you $500. You only lent me $500. So the Gemara says, we have this Gemara on Daf Yud Ches in Mesechus Kesubos. The Gemara says it's called Moda B'mixas at taina. It's a shul midoraisa. It's only 3 times take a shul midoraisa. One of them is by a pikadon, one of them is by eid echad, and the third one, moda b'mixas at taina, where he admits a part of it, he denies the other half. It doesn't have to be exactly half, but part of it and the other part he denies. So the reason the Gemara says in Daf Yud Ches, the Gemara says that Rabba has a svara that really what happens when a person is asking for a big amount of money, and I admit the part of it is that really there's a chazak, an assumption he really owes the whole thing. Right? That's why you can make him take a shvuah, but there's an assumption, there's a 75% chance he really owes him the whole thing. Why is he saying all his half? Because he doesn't have the money to pay. He doesn't have $1,000 to pay. He only has $500 to pay now. So he's pushing him off and saying, I only have $500 now, and then I'll have more time to get the rest of the money. So technically, really, why did he just deny the whole thing, right? The reason he doesn't deny the whole thing is he's embarrassed of the guy, because the guy did him a favor, right? He lent him money. You don't want to deny the whole thing. So therefore, there's a reasonable assumption to assume this guy really owes the whole thing. So you have to take a shvuah. If you want to deny the other 500 and get away with it, you have to take a shvuah d'oraisa and swear that you don't owe the other 500. Because there's an assumption, a 75% assumption that you really do own the money. So now what's this case of it's not 1 unit of money he's demanding $1,000. He's demanding, I lent you a package of wheat and a package of barley, raw wheat, raw barley. And the guy says, I only got barley from you. Is that case of moda b'mixas at taina? You have to take a shvuah d'oraisa on the chitin, on the wheat. I only admit to the barley. You don't have to take a shvuah d'oraisa on the wheat. Shmuel says, you're chayiv to take a shvuah. Moda b'mixas at taina, yishava. And we pass on like shvuah. Rabbi Bar Abba says you're potter. What's the machlokas between Shmuel and Rabbi Bar Abba? So I'm going to say it like this, that it's called moda b'mixas at taina, right? Is it admitting to part of the taina or to part of the gavra? I mean, there's a gavra and there's a taina. I mean, the person who's demanding the money or demanding the barley and the wheat from you, he's a person, right? But he's also claiming something. So in Lamdos, we're going to divide it into a person and his claim, right? So when it comes to his claim, right? So when it comes to his claim, there's very big difference between $1,000 and chitin and saorin, right? Because really, when I say, even though maybe technically I lent him, the truth was I lent him a package of wheat and a package of barley, at the same time, those claims that he's pay me back wheat and pay me back saorin, those are 2 different species, 2 different minim. They don't even combine for a share of challah together. So even if they happen at the exact same time, when I demand, I say, give me back my wheat and barley, that's really 2 tainas, really. I mean, in essence, it's really, give me back my wheat and also give me back my barley. We're splitting it up. So that's what Rabbi Bar Abba says. He says, so I admit to the saorin. It's like someone claims, I lent you $200 today and I lent you $200 tomorrow. So, I mean, I lent you $200 a week ago and $200 3 days ago. So those are 2 different tainas. So therefore I say, yes, 3 days ago, I borrowed money. So that's not moda b'mixas on the week ago, because there are 2 different claims, 2 different loans. You can't combine the 2. So, right, on the loan that he admitted to, and he's chayiv, right? If your moda who does baldin, so for 3 days of loan, $200, you have to pay him. But the other one, it's going to call for bakol. Call for bakol maybe the shul with the rabbanon, but I denied it. It's not moda b'mixas at taina. There's not a strong enough assumption to make him take a shvuah midoraisa. However, if you say it's called moda mixas hataina, where it's called moda mixas hataina shalagavra of the person, right? So this person, he's demanding, right? Even though it's two tainas, chitin is only two different tainas, but he's saying, he's confronting this person who borrowed the barley and the wheat from him. He's saying, give me that barley and wheat. So when you go ahead and deny half of it to that guy, even though the tainas are two separate tainas, but they're emanating from the same person. They're emanating from the same person. They're emanating from the same person. And that's really the svara of moda mixas hataina. The svara of moda mixas hataina is you're embarrassed of the person. You're embarrassed of that guy, right? That's why I take a shvuah, right? Normally we assume you're deny something, right? So you're probably telling the truth. We can't enforce a shvuah d'oraisa. But that's what it makes sense over there. This guy letting you barley and wheat, and really you only have barley to pay him back, and you want to delay until the time you can be able to purchase back the wheat. Wheat went up in value. I don't know. It's because of Ukraine. It's hard to get wheat. I don't know. It's very hard. It went up in price. You know, it's a what is that called? A short. People have shorted a stock and they have to buy it back. Short squeeze. I'm trying to buy back wheat. It's expensive now. He's embarrassed of the person. The reason he make a shvuah is I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed of the person. So he lent me two different things. So I can only pay back one of them. So I'm embarrassed of that person. So I'm embarrassed of that person. So therefore, he claims those two things as one. So we look at it as one taina together, and I admit to part of it, and the other part I'm not admitting to because I'm embarrassed of him. The reason I even admitted to half of it is because I'm embarrassed of the guy. I could just deny the whole thing, but which would make me in a better position. But I'm embarrassed of the guy, so I don't let myself deny the whole thing because he did me a favor. So I'm embarrassed of him. So that's the real svara over there. Except for we passing like Shmuel, Hanochitim v'Saora and Mahodla v'Saora, and you're chayav v'Shua on the other part because you're embarrassed of the gabra. It's really called moda mixas hataina shalagavra. There is a machlokas we've shown him about the svara moda mixas. One of the svaras is because the ikar svara is you're taking a shvuah because you're embarrassed of the other guy because he did you a tova. I forget the other svara. It comes up whether there's moda mixas hataina by pikadon or not. Is it you're embarrassed of the guy stam, right? You don't want to lie to a person, or you're embarrassed of the guy who did you a favor over here by a loan when the person lends you money. So there, pikadon, he asks you to watch something for fear of shomer chinam. I mean, he's not doing a favor. That's the machlokas would play out. But according to both opinions, it's an embarrassment from the guy. Is it embarrassed because he did you a favor, or is it embarrassed to the guy you don't want to lie to the guy? So that is the svara over here. I think I'm probably according to both svaras and Tosfos. Hope you enjoyed tonight's shir. See you in the next one.